Rise and shine, everybody. It's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
Hello there, this is Alan Collins, and you're listening to the
Stoned Roadie Show. The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 274. Action. Alrighty then, good morning, Stoned Roadie Nation, and looky here. It's January 20th, and that means it's Inauguration Day, and I wrote a song about it, and it goes like this. Come Monday, things will be all right. Come Monday, Trump takes over Capitol Hill. It's been 4 lonely years. I've been holding back the tears, but I finally got Trump back on my side. It's a work in progress. All right. Well, enough bullshit. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stone Roadie, and this is my co-host, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. And, well, go ahead there, Griff. And,
well, he's not quite been sworn in yet. Anything can happen between now and then, and I don't put it past the deep state. But we did pretty good by getting monetized the last podcast. We didn't do anything. We got monetized, and that was a great podcast with the tackle box. They had a lot of people saying how cool that was, and I agree, man. Who else would bring you a tackle box that was Ronnie Van Zant's that hasn't been opened and shown in 50 years? That's pretty cool. Craig coming up with that. And he had it laying around all along, and it's like, well, I'll get around to it when I get to it. It makes me wonder what else you got around there, Craig.
Come to think about it, you ask, I got it right here on the floor. Here it is.
Yeah, that's it, man.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, you didn't see the whole outside or nothing.
Old pal Woodstream.
Yeah.
Bass boss.
Yeah.
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 And good old Ronnie Van Zant's tackle box right there. And, we went through it, and anybody hasn't gotten to see that yet, go on the last podcast, and Craig goes through the whole thing. And I'm gonna sit down with that podcast on the show, on the TV with Gene, and have him to talk about each one of those.
Well, you was asking me, you said, what's those sinkers over there? And I showed you, and you said something about a sinker with a worm sinker. Is that it?
That's a jig head sinker. Is what that is. No, I was wondering if you had
sinker? What's the hell is that?
Well, it's a slide sinker. It looks like a bullet. It looks about like a bullet. It's a slide sinker, and they got different weights. But that's a jig head sinker right there for
jig
jigging.
Head sinker. I don't know a lot about different.
Yeah, that hook. You hook a jig on it, and then that weight's right at the nose of it. Yeah. So, but you can use those in fresh and salt water. But that's basically a freshwater box right there.
Yeah. I found this little googly bobber here too. I can't get close enough.
Yeah, it's another jig, like for a speck.
They
could nail that.
Stuck back in a drawer back there. I couldn't reach them. I thought that's what you were talking about. Oh, okay.
Does that plastic still feel good on that box? Does it still feel good and sturdy, not brittle at all?
Yeah.
Not a bit brittle or anything.
I have it's really weird because that bottle of Mercurochrome or whatever that was in here.
Yeah, Mercurochrome.
Looked like it was come out of another box or something, you know. It looked like he just stuck this together. Maybe this was a brand new box when he put it together, and them old knives. I don't know. It's hard to, it's hard to speculate, but
I think it's the same tackle box he had in his closet when Joe Crimp was over there fishing with him, and he handed him that Poe Peel. And knowing Joe probably said, Ronnie, I ain't going to use this, man. Keep it. And he threw it back in his box, you know. Or he had another one. Maybe he bought several of them, and he gave one to Joe, and Joe
I don't
took
know. Chances are he's, stuck this on the plane or whatever, and never didn't use it that whole tour, so it's hard to tell how many times it's been used.
Some of the stuff was used in it, some of the
That's what I'm saying. He might have took some stuff out of another box and put in this one to bring on the road. I don't freaking know.
It don't matter. It's Ronnie Van Zant's tackle box. That's all we need to know, man. It's cooler than hell. And it's
explanation for it, why it was up there and in the equipment, and there's no other explanation for it.
But what's cool is you got songs where Ronnie talks about fishing, So, I mean, Ronnie's a fisherman, and, he's like got songs with fishing in it. Don't ask me no questions. I won't tell you no lies. If you want to talk about fishing, that'll be okay. Which I always liked that song, when he was like, because you could tell people were bugging the hell out of him about talking about work all the time, and he probably got sick of it, You want to hear what's your brother's favorite color or whatever the hell it was he said.
Well, when we were out fishing, I had an opportunity to take my camera and film us the whole time. But I just never did that. I just wanted to give that guy a break,
Yeah, man, he needed a break when he went fishing.
But we were all under the impression that nobody would ever see this stuff. It was just something that I just thought we would, when we got old, if we ever got old, we could sit back and watch shit when we were younger, But and then
you didn't wasn't
turned
thinking
out
about
like it did. I had no idea it was going to turn out the way it did.
You didn't know they had a thing
Or
called a podcast.
I'd have filmed a lot more. Hell, I didn't even film anything on that last tour. I said, shit, I've done all this already. I don't need to get it all over again. But man, if I'd have had all that last fight and all that stuff, God, and all the turmoil about the plane, and I didn't even think about it. It wasn't no big deal to me. It just wasn't no big deal.
Well, you didn't know that they were going to have things, like YouTube and.
No, I mean, it's like all this stuff that I had all those years. I goes, what the hell am I going to do with all this stuff? Have a yard sale or whatever, and then all of a sudden, here comes eBay and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we were talking about some of the comments people were saying about, this is what you ought to do with that tackle box, Craig, and then they were saying, mentioning who you should give it to. I'll go over all that stuff in the comments, and Craig said, well, hell, I gave away mic stands, and I let somebody borrow a microphone, and it got stolen, and
I gave Johnny at least a dozen of Ronnie's microphone stands. I gave Donnie a couple of them, and I gave Johnny. I had Ronnie's backstage pass. I gave Johnny the first gig. I gave it to him. I said, "Here, you probably like to have that." But everybody had a chance to come up there and get anything they wanted. I called all the families and said, "Man, we got all this stuff up here that belonged to, Ronnie. Come and get it, I kind of know what's his and what's Steve's, and I kind of got things separated and everything, and everybody goes, man, we don't want none of that stuff. It would just bring back bad memories. Don't it smell? Been up there in that warehouse for a couple years. It was laying out that field. Don't it smell? He goes, well, it don't smell like roses, but there's nothing wrong with it. And we don't want none of that stuff, And then I hold on to it for 50 years. Now everybody decides what I should do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, Craig.
Yeah. After
He
you know what storage is worth a year? Yeah, try to store something for a year.
Not to mention, there's things that have happened that, just kind of pissed you off in the interim. And there's a lot of bad blood going around, with that whole frickin' band.
There's a lot of things that happened that should have gone every which way, and they went in the wrong direction as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you know what? We ought to throw a party and invite everybody and just call it the neutral party and say, everybody come and you're not allowed to argue. If anybody argues, you're out. And then, just everybody pretend like they like each other. But that would be just people that are family and friends of the band members, because there's no band members left except for Artimus and Leslie and then of course their roadie. But we have any donations to talk of there, Craig?
No, we didn't have any donations this time. No.
And speaking of Trump, I was watching that little speech that he had last night. I mean, what president do you have that's going to go on there and he's going to compare the military how it used to be and the military how it is now? And then he's cracking all of, the one freaking guy in a dress that's in the military, and there are a bunch of sissies skipping around, and Trump's making fun of it. To me, the guy is hilarious, man. And then he gets the Village People on stage and he's dancing, doing the Trump dance. He's just a cool dude, man. If somebody don't like him, what's wrong with you if you don't like him? He's trying to do all these great things. He says he's got Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, and John Voight, his new ambassadors to Hollywood. He's going to straighten up Hollywood even.
Well, he's got an obese person that dresses up like a woman that's in charge of the health department.
Not anymore.
And
Not
then
anymore.
he's got a woman that likes women as who's just happens to be black and as his press secretary. And then old Pete Buttigieg,
Booty juice.
He can go back to being a house mother. And who else? They're all mentally ill. Everybody in his administration's mentally ill. And then he's got all those DEI fire women out there in L.A. And the whole thing's a joke.
Well, he was talking about, helping California and helping North Carolina. And when have you heard Biden ever go on and talk about what he's going to do to help? He's already saying, we're going to help you there in North Carolina. We're going to help you, California. We're going to rebuild you. He's already, I'm sure he's got a plan, because the guy, man, he gets things done more than any president. You don't know of a president that's ever made promises that they've kept other than him. What president have you ever known that kept a damn promise? All of them lie, except for Trump. Trump's always doing what he says he's going to do.
Well, John Kennedy promised we'd go to the moon, and we went to the moon, but did we really?
Maybe he thinks we did.
Well, that's what they're saying about old Sleepy Joe. They're saying that he signed things that he don't even know he signed. He thinks he signed things to do an investigation, and he actually signed things to stop them from happening. And I don't know. That's what that pawn up there that's the head of Congress or whatever. They're all a bunch of pawns. They're just all a bunch of
crooks.
Yeah, they all are. The whole thing needs wiped out and start over again, and get rid of the Federal Reserve and get something in there. do away with all these taxes. We don't need to pay all these taxes. The only reason we pay taxes, they say that we pay taxes because they need the money. They need money. They just print it. They just tax us
that's
to
another
keep us
thing.
poor. I mean, God
But
Almighty.
but the villains are up to something. The villains are going to create some kind of a virus.
Oh yeah, it ain't over. Yeah,
Yeah.
it ain't over.
Yeah. They
And
got
the villain, we don't even know who the villains are. I mean,
Yeah.
they're people we don't even know.
I know.
It's
They're
hard to tell. It's got me kind of worried about what the hell do they have it planned for?
I know,
Because I thought it
because
was. I was sure they was going to shut down the power grid, but the fat lady ain't saying that yet on that
no,
one.
not yet.
When they do that, they've dumped the chessboard over. Because when they pull the plug on everything, in 3 days, it's massive chaos.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you sheeple can't deal with all your conveniences for 3 days. Y'all go freaking nuts.
Well, they could live off their fat,
Oh yeah, you can live off your fat. Yeah.
but you have to have water.
Oh yeah. They're just whatever.
But anyway, it's inauguration day, and Craig and I, man, everybody knows who we like for president, and I'm sure that there might be a couple people on here that don't agree with us that like Lynyrd Skynyrd, but Lynyrd Skynyrd and Democrats just don't go together, man. It's don't mix. It doesn't make any sense, To me, Lynyrd Skynyrd's all American.
Yeah, I was
no
kind of
woke
following
shit.
that Caitlin Clark, that woman basketball player. I thought she was pretty cool, but yesterday I saw her with Taylor Swift at the football game and giving the signs or whatever like that.
Oh,
So
the evil satanic
yeah, so
signs.
now she's history in my book too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see
She
what
did
happens.
looked like she was getting a raw deal with all those other women basketball players that liked other women. You know,
Yeah, and that's another thing Trump mentioned on that speech yesterday was about the transgender thing. He wouldn't have said it. He wouldn't have done all those things so boldly had he not, now that he's elected, he's going ahead and going over the top with it now. It was hilarious. It was some of the best TV I've seen in a while, man. You got to go watch that, Craig.
I can't believe the supposed when you're watching TV, the supposed people that are on there that are supposed to be women, that are actually men. And supposedly that Hans, or that little girl from whatever, the energy expert, what's her, Greta? Supposedly that's a little boy.
Oh, really? It could
Yeah,
be.
supposedly that's a little boy.
Is it? Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
supposedly.
That
Yeah,
makes perfect sense.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
And they got these masks. God, these masks. I don't have personal knowledge about them, but God, from what I see, you can
Oh,
get.
they can do anything they
Yeah,
want
it's
with AI
pretty
if they
wild,
want.
man. Yeah,
Yeah, they can do anything they
I mean,
want.
people wear masks, and I don't know. Supposedly they got. Well, I saw that they were cracking on that version of Sleepy Joe they had a few months back that was like 6'5" or whatever, that was taller than Trump, and it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can jump into our comments and questions and call it another podcast. What is this, Craig? 274?
Yeah, it's 274. Next it'll be 275. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
one
this is
thing.
Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz episode number 146, and we just started those. God, this spring, didn't we? We just started doing these
Yeah.
Wake and Bakes this spring, three every week. Yeah, that's been unusual.
And the subscriptions are up. So if
Barely,
if anybody's able to like and subscribe for us, please, because we want to continue that roll. Because everything that we get monetized on goes to the plane crash survivors, and that's why we like to get monetized and get paid. And we're trying to boost our subscriptions. I've actually gone on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and loaded up a bunch of shorts, which is kind of helping a little bit, I think. But that tackle box was a big podcast for us. So you guys keep on watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so we can raise the funds and help out the survivors. So let's jump into these comments here. And already we got cheeseheads telling you, Craig, that tackle box should remain together and not split up for the money. Craig, go ahead and lose it again until Lynyrd Skynyrd Museum opens up. That would be a good museum piece.
Yeah. I have no intention
that thing.
of doing
You
it.
could loan that to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Actually,
Before I found it, I said, when I find it, nothing's going to change. I have no intention of doing anything with it, because it just needs to remain intact. It really does.
well, you live right by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Take it up
Yeah.
there and go, hey, if I give this to you for display, you need to display it. It can't be.
Yeah, they don't have anything up there, but
Yeah, see if they'll take it, Greg.
I'm going to go up there this spring, so I'll
keep it safe,
they'll
and
keep
then all the fans can enjoy it, right?
Yeah, and they'll have my name up there. Yeah,
Yeah, and it'll say-
donated by the STONED Roadie.
Yeah,
And then
That
I can do tours. I can go, yeah, see there.
and then they'll say, who's that? And that's Craig Reed. We like Craig because he donated that tackle box here, so you'll be on their good graces.
Maybe that'll be into getting the actual real, the most famous roadie in the whole wide world up there in the thing. They can do an actual.
Yeah, you can put a picture beside
actual
it.
vote. We can actually get it established up there, which was my intention. To first you have to get it talked about before it can happen. So,
I was laying awake.
it's a work in
night.
progress.
I was laying awake one night and I was looking at reading some of the comments on the Griff Martin files, and there was a comment somebody left on the Craig Reed trying to get backstage. Lynyrd Skynyrd won't let him in, and the guy saying he's just a washed up roadie and he thinks he's a band member and he's nothing compared to all those great band members and that are gone now. He's just a washed up self-proclaimed roadie. And then right below that, somebody started saying that those band members are the ones that's washed up. They were taken up for you. Oh hell, it's funny reading
Them band
some of those
members didn't
comments.
even know Ronnie or Alan or
yeah.
Steve or Bob.
Yeah. Except for
Or Larry
Ricky,
Johnstrom.
Ricky and Johnny, of course, which, Ricky and Johnny they're cool guys. They're good.
Yeah.
For skin.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you what, man, I like they do a great show, man.
They do. I was very impressed with that New Year's Eve show they did last year.
Yeah,
but the year before. That was great, man. They did really, and especially as cold as it was. My God, I was giving them kudos for that, man. It was cold.
Well, they're pretty tight, They're great musicians.
Yeah, they are.
So,
They are. Damon and Sparky, and Ricky, and especially Michael. I saw Michael the other day. Ted Nugent was talking. He goes, "All my musicians have been badass. Like Michael Cardelloni that still drums with Skynyrd. All my musicians are badass legends like Michael Cartellone. He is a good drummer, man.
I wonder if he ever like gets with Ted, and they jam or anything.
I don't think he does. Huh? I don't know. I don't know.
Because he got back together with the Amboy Dukes there one time, and I think they're all still around.
He probably does offshoots. His parents were from Cleveland, right here, just north of where I live.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they were from Cleveland. Every time we played in Cleveland, his parents showed up. They were real cool. Yeah.
Oh, really? So they would
Mm-hmm.
they would even come to Skynyrd when he wasn't there?
No, when he was there.
Oh, when he was there, okay.
Yeah, when we would come to town with Skynyrd, he was there. They would show up. They were cool. Italian, Italian family.
And old Trump, man, he was mentioning a bunch of like Kid Rock last night. He was mentioning Lee Greenwood and Kid Rock, and those are friends of mine, he said. And
I watch Ted. He has a show on. I watch it all the time. He's real cool.
And that Billy Ray Cyrus, man, he's a big Trump guy. He likes Trump, but his daughter's woke.
God, I saw him the other day, man. He had an old hippie leather.
I saw that.
Hat on and an old army shirt, man. He didn't look like no billionaire. He's a fucking billionaire. He didn't look like.
Yeah, and Paul Abraham used to work for him too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I hope Paul's doing okay. Maybe we can get old Paul back on here again,
Yeah. If we could get Mike Estes on, maybe we could get Paul on. Yeah.
Yeah, because they got some great stories, man. It's like when you get those two together, you can't get better Skynyrd stories.
Oh yeah. Everybody wants Paul and Mike to.
I mean, it's post plane crash stuff, but it's original guys like Leon and Billy. There's all, the original band members post, Gary and how Gary and Johnny were fighting out in the grass in the hotel parking lot, and the sprinklers came on, and Paul had to go out there and break it up, and they were all soaked.
And people have been asking me about getting Clayton Johnson on, and like I said a couple podcasts before, he sent me some more of them stickers I could send out, and I wrote him a note and said, hey, people want you to come on the podcast, and I said, well, I don't think he'd do it, but I'll ask him, and I kind of mentioned it, and he goes, I told him to watch the podcast, and then he wrote me back, he said, yeah, thank you, but I respectfully decline, but it's been nice keeping in touch with you, but I just there's stuff I don't want to talk about,
right? Yeah,
come back on. So it's that between the Bill Graham thing and Skynyrd, it was after he just, I don't know.
And how about that Derek Hess, man, letting us hear a good conversation, some stories about Ronnie, talking to him on the phone. I just called him up, and I said, hey, man, it's Ronnie's birthday celebration, would you mind saying a couple things? And he's like, man, I'm busy right now, but give me about an hour. When I get home, I'll call you back, and, we'll figure something out. And then he said, man, I only got like a couple minutes. And then he was on there for a good 15 minutes.
Well, I asked him about a year ago, and he goes, man, I ain't nobody, I ain't got nothing to talk about,
Man, he got a lot of stuff he can talk about.
Yeah, you got a Skynyrd Ronnie story. Oh, I got a few of them. I can tell this.
Yeah, he was around, man.
Yeah, I'd like to get him on. He's got a lot of stories, especially about Roston and Collins.
Yeah,
and Alan Collins, too.
Yeah, he was there, man. He was there.
Crazy. Those were crazy times, Alan. And he'd probably remember them. I don't remember a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, Derek, man, he's seen some stuff.
He wasn't into the drugs like we were,
Well, that's one of the reasons he when he was talking about when Ronnie mentioned, hey, what would you think about drumming for Skynyrd? And he said, wow, I got to think about that, because that would be life changing. If you're married and you got a kid, and then Ronnie Van Zant says, hey, you want to be the drummer? Right then, if you accept that, you're completely alienating your freaking family because you ain't gonna be there. You know that.
The Russ and the Collins band and the Alan Collins band, that would be like being with Motley Crue or
Oh yeah,
it was just crazy. It was just freaking crazy.
It's like saying, "Hey, would you like to be the drummer? Hey, would you mind getting divorced and and going through some bullshit with your relationship to be in Lynyrd Skynyrd? Because that's what would have happened. God bless him, he didn't do it. And he's probably got some mixed emotions about it, but in the end, I'm sure he's thinking, I could have ended up on that plane. So
yeah, he's still alive. Everybody's dead. I mean,
yeah,
realistically, except for Artimus and Leslie.
And then moving along in the comments, James Ramsey says he'd like to buy that tackle box from you, Craig. That thing's priceless. I don't know. You couldn't put a price on that tackle box.
Yeah, it's
it's just, to me.
That's why I stuck it away. I think I don't remember.
Yeah, what do you do with something like that?
It was amusing to sell it, and then I sold it, and I felt bad, and hid it from myself.
That's like I got the mailbox off of the duplex that Ronnie lived in with Judy and Ed King. I got the mailbox. I went by there and they were refurbing it, and they had it all torn apart. I walked around inside. The guy was painting the door, and the carpet was all stripped out, and they were cleaning it up, and they had everything. It looked like they were throwing everything, taking everything, throwing it out. So I grabbed that damn mailbox off the wall. That could have had a royalty check in it or something. But I don't know what the hell to do with it. What am I going to do with that mailbox? I mean, I've got it, and I let Gene look at it, and Gene's like, yeah, man, he goes, I don't remember it, but that's about, you can tell it's as old as hell. And at one time, it probably had Van Zant, because you can see these stickers that were on there that were ripped off, people's names that they put on there. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty old. Maybe I'll donate it to the Lynyrd Skynyrd Museum. And then Brian Gibbons says he saw a photo of Ronnie and Stu Cook of CCR. Did you guys ever get to hang out with CCR, Craig?
I never did. I don't know if Ronnie or them guys ever did, but I never did. Not that I remember.
No. Yeah, no. You probably did. You just don't remember.
I might have. I don't remember.
Man, they were
with a lot of people.
They were talented as hell at CCR, and then
a lot of people come around, and I didn't. A lot of times I didn't pay attention, or there was all the time people coming around. I didn't know who they were.
Yeah, you should have savored it more, man. Why didn't you savor it more, Craig?
I don't know. I had my mind on other things at the time.
Do you still have that robe with Craig on it? I bet you do, don't you?
That one I do, I think. Yeah, that's the blue one. Yeah, I still have that.
That's the one you need to wear while you have that picture up.
I still have that one. Yeah, I showed that one before.
Yeah, you need to wear that while your picture of yourself, and that way we can see the young. Yeah,
I don't have the red one.
Craig.
I don't have the burgundy one anymore.
Is that the blue one?
That's the blue one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have that one. Yeah.
Yeah. See, Craig don't throw anything away, man. He keeps all that, and thank God. Because look at all the stuff. Which come to me, how we doing on the prizes? Any more headway? We just need just a little checkup on you, Craig.
We're still about in the same old spot with those.
Yeah. Anything we
I
can
keep
do?
opening boxes and finding more stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I got to send out.
Well, if you had to put a percent on how close you are to coming to mailing it out.
we got God. There's a whole people were only supposed to get one thing, and now there's a whole list. There's about 10 things people are getting. It's crazy.
Well, I was talking to Kathy Keeble on the phone.
I mean, there's a wooden coin. There's a $1 million bill. There's stickers. There's Stone Roadie on heroin.
That's the coin, the wooden coin.
Yeah, there's.
And I was talking to Kathy Keeble, and she said, "Tell Craig that me and Savannah will come up there, and Savannah would love to see Uncle Craig, and come up there, and we will take everything and box it up, and we'll label it, and we'll mail it." She's offered to do that, Craig. What do you say?
But I got to sign it though, and then you'd
that's
rush
all right.
me.
She'll hand it to you, and she'll go right here, Craig.
All right, I'll get everything out and I'll just sign it, and you'll just if I chicken scratch it, so just
they don't give a shit. They don't care. But Kathy will come help you.
No, I can do it.
I
got it. I get it all the way I need to do it. Like I'm saying, I sit down and sign them, and I don't like the way I'm writing that day, and I get disgusted.
Well, you just got.
I got to figure out where to sign them and what color ink to use, and
I think you're stressing about it too much.
Oh,
man.
I know.
You need to just say screw it and do it.
Yeah,
screw it and do it. But we'll check back on you again next week. Yeah, Brian.
It'll be soon. I promise. It'll be soon. Yeah.
So he don't know too much about.
Well,
the
Clayton just
CCR.
sent me those stickers. So yeah, since Clayton sent the stickers, now I have enough. Now I have to know.
Oh, he sent you some more?
Yeah, he sent me some more of those stickers.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll start selling those again as soon as. For the those are donated to the Forgotten Survivors. They're $25 a piece, but they're
Right, yeah.
donated to the Forgotten Survivors. But since it's taken me so long, that you're going to get 2 for 1 on that one.
So if there's anybody that wants a sticker that didn't win the prize, if you pay Craig $25, you don't have to wait for something like that. That's a different category. That's that if you paid for something, he's very fast in mailing it out. But if it's something he gives away, then he don't feel like he's under a time crunch or anything. But yeah, if you want to donate $25 to the survivors, then
get one of them stickers.
What's that sticker look like? You got a picture of it, Craig? You can put up.
Oh, I got it on my thing here behind me. Oh, let me see here.
Yeah, so it's basically new old stock stickers too.
Well, it's one of them Randy Tootin stickers. It's a Bill Graham sticker that Clayton had done.
Yeah,
and, he thought they were bumper stickers made out of weatherproof stuff, but they're not. So he just threw them in the closet. But these are from 1987, so they're 40 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But they're still like brand new. I mean, they're 40 years old, but they've been they're like brand new. They've been stored properly.
Yeah, and then if somebody wants that, they mail the money to you. Where at, Craig?
Let me see here.
There it is. Craig Reed, P.O. Box 442, Green, Ohio 44232. Get your sticker, and Craig will mail it right out. and you'll sign the back of it if you want, right, Craig?
Yeah.
Well, you might as well go ahead and sign it anyway. Just sign the back of
Well,
it.
it's,
Nobody.
you know,
Yeah, just sign the back of it before you send it, because that. I mean, if they're gonna use it, then they'll pull the paper off the back. But if they're just gonna hold on to it because it's got the signature, it's up to them. But moving right along, Chip Crewy says he really loved the end of the podcast with the interviews. Thanks, Chip. Yeah, that was. I just felt like it was a Ronnie Van Zant celebration, so I wanted to try to get some people on the phone that knew Ronnie and could tell a story, and I appreciate those guys doing that. Mark Howard and Derek Hess, Joe Crimp, and good old Gene Odom. They stepped up to the plate for Griff and took the time and told a story, and the Stone Roadie Show appreciates that. So thanks, Chip. Wayne says mercurochrome was good for tick and chigger bites. Ronnie probably had that at the house and threw it in there one day in case he got bit by a tick or a chigger, which I always thought that it was what it was for, like, if you got maybe a cut or something. I thought that's what it was.
that's what I thought it was for too. Yeah, I never knew about chiggers until I was down in Florida and got chiggers.
Oh man, you don't want
when
chiggers.
When I was on the chain gang and at the pea farm, I got chiggers.
That's like, remember that neighbor of mine, Craig, that I baptized with the water hose, and the cop, he called the police when I squirted him with a water hose, and the cop came out, and then I was telling him, well, he's over on my property line, and right there's the stake out, and it's right out there in the woods, and the cop goes, I got to go take a picture of that stake. And I said, man, don't go down there. There's chiggers in there. And he goes, dude, I chase criminals through the woods. I ain't worried about no bug. And I said, I'm telling you, man, don't go down there. You're going to wish you didn't. And he went down there, and I saw that banana leaf rub across his neck. And then he walked a little farther, and that bamboo leaf got on his other side of his neck. And I knew that was it. He was done. And within 15 minutes, he was scratching like an old flea-bit dog. And I told him, I said, I told you, man. And he was suffering by the time he got in that car. And I know that night his wife was probably rubbing stuff on it for him, because there's nothing worse than a damn chigger bite. But if mercurochrome works, I wouldn't mind. I don't know if they sell it anywhere, but
I don't even know if they sell that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
There's your painting too, since I was showing pictures of this stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of like a blurry copy of it, but here's what it looks like in real life. This is a sticker, which is kind of better if you can see it up close. But yeah, I got posters and stickers of that, and I was thinking about putting it on a hat if it looks right, small enough. But yeah, you can go to edwg59@gmail.com if you would like to buy some shirts and stickers and posters with Hell House on it, and the band drawing. Go take a look at the merchandise video on the Griff Martin Files, and it's got some other stuff I got for sale on there. None of it which I've really pushed much, so I've only sold a few things on there recently because I've been so busy and everybody has been broke. Let me see here. Wayne, he says, Ronnie certainly loved his fishing. I saw his black jitterbug in that box. He knew who Fred Arbogast was for sure. I guess that's the name of the jig or something. I mean, the jitterbug. I don't know. I've heard of that name. I guess it's maybe it's the name of a lure producer or something. A little bit old for me. I never really used a whole lot of like spinner baits, and I just always used a plastic worm. I mean, I would I would every now and then, use some top water if I saw them hitting on the top, but not very often because that stuff always gets hung up. When you're fishing in the weeds and all that top water stuff gets hung up real easy. And then when you lose it, you lose it. It's like $10 for some of some of those snook lures I used to use, and then you get them hung up on a pylon. Those wind cheaters when I used to go snook fishing, those things were $10, man. That'd piss you off, when you lose something like that.
Yeah, I used to throw those worms with Ronnie, but they always had weedless. They had the weedless things on them, so they wouldn't get hung up.
Yeah, I never use those. I always hook it back into the worm, turn it around, and just put the pointy sharp end into the worm and just rig my own weedless thing. Sometimes you miss the set because of that, but for the most part it works pretty good. John Hartline, Craig, you found the tackle box just like you said you would. Yeah, I was on that ass a little bit with Craig, but Craig's pretty cool about it. He didn't get mad or anything. He just kept saying, I'll find it, and he came through, man. And we just got to, figure out what else he's got over there. He's gonna slip up and say something about something he has, and then we're gonna make him look for that too. You think you got something else pretty cool hidden there, Craig? What else you got, man?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't have any idea.
Yeah, you got something, man. Somebody sent me an email. I forget who it was. Sorry about that if I can't remember your name, and they said that they were friends with Lacey, and they went to his house one day, and this was back in the day, and then Johnny had a framed shirt of Ronnie's, and it was leaning up against the wall at the Van Zant house, and Lacey told him, yeah, that's the shirt Ronnie was wearing in the plane crash. And Johnny had it framed behind like some Lexan or something, some plexiglass in a frame, and it was, a shirt. But I don't think it was a shirt Ronnie had on in that plane crash. I wouldn't.
Don't they cut that stuff off?
Well, not only that, I don't think Johnny would want to put that shirt in a frame, not the shirt that he died in. I mean, that would be too horrible. But, if it was one of Ronnie's other shirts that he had laying around, put a shirt of your brother's in a frame like that. And I was wondering what might have happened to that. And then that same guy went down to the studio and took a picture of Dean Kilpatrick's
drawing. I think I saw that there was a lot of chunks missing out of it.
Yeah.
So tried to take it off, and it was plastered on there, I think.
Yeah, I get a lot of emails, so I apologize if I can't remember your name, but I get a lot of emails like that. But if they're interesting, I'll talk about them, and that was a pretty cool email, and thanks for sending that. And some people might think that I'm just blowing it off, but I really do think about it and think it's cool, and, if it's cool enough, I'll mention it. But, yeah, that was really cool. The pictures were kind of grainy, or I'd put them up here on the podcast. They were a little blurry. David says, very cool to see Ronnie's old gear. I always liked that Ronnie mentioned fishing and Don't Ask Me. I guess that was a recording, Don't Ask Me. Was that the name of the song, Craig? Don't ask me
no questions. I won't.
Is that the name of the song?
Yeah, question. Don't ask me no questions. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite songs. Now, we had like 270 something comments. I'd say probably 150 of them were Kimmy. Wouldn't you say, Craig?
I think. At least, yeah.
Yeah. And Kimmy, man, she's off the chain too, man. She was like, Kimmy says, Craig, muscle weighs more than fat. So I don't know. Did you say that fat weighed more than muscle or something? Because
I don't know, but Kimmy, I'm well aware that muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah, she's ranting about all kinds of stuff, and I mean, there's a couple other things in here I wrote down. She said, in Tuxedo Manor, I bet Ronnie's grandson would like to have that box. What was it you told me one time? I told you, Craig, when I was at your house. I said, "Man, I'd like to go. I'd like to go shooting some quail with Ted Nugent." And you said, "Yeah, and you like to shit in one hand and something with the other." What was it you said?
Wish in one
Wish in-
hand and shit in the other. Yeah.
Yeah. Craig goes,
You
"Yeah."
wish in one hand and shit in the other, and see which one fills up the fastest.
I said, "Man," I said, "Craig, get me hooked up with Ted Nugent. I want to go hunting with him." And he goes, "Yeah, you can shit in one hand and wish in the other too, can't you?"
He lives in Texas now.
Yeah,
He's got a place in Michigan, but I think he spends most of his time in Texas. Now I think he's got a ranch down there.
To me, hanging out with Ted Nugent, going hunting or something, to me, that's like the baddest thing you can do. That's the coolest shit right there you could do.
Christina Anderson's got a ranch down there like Ted. I think they kind of trade animals. Her and her,
do they?
Her dad did, I know, with Ted. Yeah. They used to trade exotic animals, yeah.
Oh, no shit. Ted was hunting them, huh?
Yeah, yeah. She has hunting things down there at her place, yeah.
Yeah, and you went went to her place, didn't you?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's real cool. Yeah, we drove around and seen all kind of animals. Yeah, she got all kind of stuff.
But when that freeze came, a lot of them died.
Yeah,
back
she
in
lost
2 years, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, she lost a lot of animals. Yeah, she got yak and all kinds.
Yeah, she got all kinds.
Elk. She got. Not only did she got elk, she got herds of elk.
Yeah.
It's she got all kind of stuff.
Well, she got like 1,000 acres or something.
Yeah, she got all kind of stuff.
Got a bunch of ponds there, and but her, I think her father invented some underwater welding stick or something.
Yeah. He started Freedom Firearms.
Oh yeah, that's right. He got
at one time they had the biggest pistol, a 450. 450. I don't know. It's a 6-shot revolver. 5. I don't know what caliber it was. It was the biggest caliber at the time. But I think Smith and Wesson made one a notch bigger since that. But
I tell you what, man, that 44 Magnum back when I worked for Piper Aircraft, they were owned by Smith and Wesson at one time, and I used to get handguns at cost. It was cheap, and I got a 44 Magnum nickel plated, and I went out and shot that thing. Man, that thing freaking kicks now. You gotta bend your arm. It's nothing you want to target practice with. It'll beat the hell out of you.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if somebody's in your face wanting to start something and you put that in their face, it tames them real fast. You know?
Like Dirty Harry.
It tames them. They go from asshole to instant sissy, and they turn around and run.
This is a 44 Magnum, and it'll blow your head clean off. Like Clint Eastwood used to say.
Oh man,
it would too.
And then we got Kimmy again. Kimmy says, and my old man is a skinny mother effer, but he's always packing, and I've gotten censored on here enough, Griff. Last comment. And then right after that, she says, I'm not a member of the cock ring or fan of a cock ring either. What does that got to do with anything, Kimmy? That's the next comment. Right after that comment, something. What's a cock ring have to do with?
That's chicken fighting, ain't it? A cock ring.
Yeah. He says, I'm not a member of the cock ring or a fan of the cock ring either. Okay, Kimmy, I guess you're, talking about chickens now.
Well,
so.
chicken fighting's illegal.
Oh, yeah. Michelle Lovett. The Skynyrd Spitter was a lure made by Allen Lures of Palatka, Florida, was sold for charity in 1999 with profits going to benefit the Columbine High School Recovery Fund. So I guess Skynyrd in 1999 had a lure that they made, and you have a.
They made 4 of those, and we gave at least one away as a prize. So we can't send everybody one of those. But I have it written down.
Is that the lure?
That's
Greg?
the lure. Yeah, I had 4 of those, and I think we only gave one away. But I have it written down who that was.
Yeah, right.
And a few months ago, I asked if there were any more because I didn't remember how many of those we gave away. And I said, anybody that got one, tell me what podcast it was.
Did they tell you?
Nobody did. So far I've only got one winner for those.
Oh, okay. And
but you know what? Those things you can buy them on. I've seen
eBay?
them on
eBay
for I think you can buy the whole set for like $25 or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, 1999, that's still pretty old.
No, there's $7 a piece. Yes, $30.
Kimmy says she's 57 and has mental problems. So she don't give a shit. Ask Craig or Griff. What? That you don't give a shit or you have mental problems, Kimmy? Which one are you asking? Well, we appreciate you, Kimmy, commenting, because the more comments, the better it makes us look. Even if there are 150 of them, I don't mind reading through them, and I don't mind, reading around them and everything. If there's something in there, I'll read it. David Hester, someone needs to have Craig singing into their phone and make it their ringtone so they can see people's reactions. Do you still have that message on your...
send me a request. I'll send you one. I'll send you a message with your name in it. Hey, this is John Smo.
Yeah, if you want to, that would be... How do you have a way to record it and get a video? An audio recording you could do? Yeah, you could say...
I got that DJI camera. There's an audio recorder on there.
Oh, is there? I didn't know that.
The microphone's got there's a mic that with the microphone you can record just an audio track on that.
Oh, cool. Okay, well if anybody wants Craig in their phone message, then just go to thestonedroadie@gmail.com and request it. And it's only a $25 donation.
Tell me your name and what you want me to say,
Yeah, for $25, right? That'd be a deal, Craig. $25 for the survivors.
Yeah.
And then you can hear. And Craig, what's on your phone message? You're singing something, the Yellow Brick Road or some shit. What are you singing?
I don't know. I say this
somewhere over the rainbow. That's
somewhere over the rainbow, way up high,
where free birds
a land
fly.
That I thought of once in a lullaby, where free birds fly, free birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I leave a message at the tone?
and every time you call him, you get that. And after a while, you hang up, but sometimes you want to listen just to laugh your ass off at it.
That was an old message.
Is it still on there?
No, I got another
You
one.
took that
I
off?
think it's a Reed. This is a Reed residence. I'm not here right now to accept your call, but if you leave your name and number at that infamous beep tone, I will return your call as soon as possible. And thank you. And here comes that infamous beep tone.
So if anybody wants Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Craig Reed, the Stone Roadie at gmail.com, and he'll send you Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Craig Reed, where free birds fly.
Hey, this is Joe Schmo, and I'm somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
Where free birds fly. And then you go, free birds fly over the rainbow. Why, oh, why can't I? Oh, my God. Hey, you can't get this kind of entertainment anywhere else. Yeah, then somebody, Laylo 69 says, I bet Johnny or Donnie would appreciate that tackle box. But if you don't want to give it to them, I'll buy it. Well, you can wish in one hand and shit in the other.
No, I think that's a good idea. I think I should donate it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think they would probably, yeah. Ronnie's damn fishing box, man.
Yeah. I like to have my name up there anyways.
Yeah, and then put your picture with you and Ronnie.
Make me all the more famous.
Do you have a picture with Ronnie?
Mind.
You and Ronnie standing together?
I don't think I have a picture of me and Ronnie together. No.
The one picture you do have of you and Ronnie together, that's the coolest picture that anybody has, is when you're on stage and you got your hands on your knees.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ronnie's looking at you.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell was he? Do you have that picture?
Hard
you
to
put that
tell.
up?
No, I don't. I don't know if I have
Yeah.
that. I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah, you have it. I've seen you put that up before.
Oh. Wow.
And I have like about 5 of those that Craig signed. I made him sign them and send them back to me. It took a year, but he did it eventually. But I've got like 5 of them. It's I think one of the coolest pictures I've ever seen. It's got Craig and Ronnie and the whole band. I think you can see just about everybody in the band. But while you're looking for that, you can't find it?
I have to look for it. Yeah, if I find it, I'll put it up. I have to look for it.
You sell those on eBay every now and then, too.
I've never sold that one. Usually the ones I sell on eBay are ones that I personally took.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you think took that picture?
Oh, I have no idea who took that picture. I don't know if I can find it.
And moving along, Denise Soares said, nice podcast, but this one was over the top. Well, thank you, Denise. We appreciate that. We try to work hard, here at the Stone Roadie show when we're putting content together. We lay awake at night and think about things that we should be doing better and stuff like that. Right, Craig?
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate that, Denise. Paul says, good job finding the tackle box and great job, Griff, bugging Craig to find it. Now you can put it back where you found it and don't worry about it anymore.
That's right.
Oh, then Kimmy goes, Griff, I think you take pot shots at people. What does that mean, Craig? Pot shots.
Pot shots. I don't know. I don't know what that
Yeah, Kimmy says I take pot shots. I crack on people sometimes, I like to crack on Kimmy even. But
No,
yeah,
okay.
okay.
I just put some new ones in there. I might have taken that one out. I don't know.
Then Melody Maker Mark says, based on the color of the water and the rock formation in the picture of Ronnie that you had where he was fishing, it looks like it was in Tennessee. That picture was probably taken in Tennessee. I'll agree. That did look kind of like Tennessee.
Could have been. I have no idea where that was taken.
Chances are I've been there before because I've been through Tennessee and North Carolina, anywhere you think you can go. I've been there, and I've been all through Tennessee and North Carolina. That does look like those rock formation there and that water. It's like, it kind of reminds me of that gorge in Tennessee. Could be that place. Jimmy J says, great podcast. Seeing the tackle box brings back fond memories I had just when I was a boy growing up in Green. Maybe he's from Green, Ohio, just like you, Craig. He says growing up in Green. And that's where you're from. And then one more comment here. It's Tuesday Low says, I know all about struggles and pain and knee replacement, prayers, and speedy recovery to Randall Hall. Yeah. So Randall, he had him. We found out a few things. We didn't know Randall had a knee replacement. That's a pretty radical thing. And the other thing we found out that we didn't know was Derek Hess was offered to be the drummer in Lynyrd Skynyrd, and Gary and Joe hit a telephone pole, not an oak tree. So, Ronnie couldn't say, telephone pole, you're in my way. Is that something Robert Wheatley sent you?
No, that's our buddy that does the towers. He took this tower down.
Oh, John Williams. Yeah, John Williams. He dropped that?
Yeah. He's dropping some big whatever in Memphis.
Yeah, you can see those cables. He let those cables go on that one side.
Yeah, I just told him he should get his drone, and so he don't have to climb those. And he's checking with Robert to get a drone. I think he's going to get one of them thermal ones. So I guess with the thermal one, if there's a short up there, it throws heat. And I guess the thermal one could detect the heat,
Those towers, man, those things are dangerous. I used to have to climb them and inspect them, and it's all about those cables. If you lose a cable, you're done. That thing's it's got to have those cables, and then also too the hardware. It gets corroded, and we had to replace all the hardware on one of those towers, a 200-foot TV tower. We had to go up and change each bolt out to make the tower new again. But yeah, Craig, that's it.
Some of them things are 1,500 foot tall.
Oh, I know.
And
2,000
yeah,
feet.
before they just passed a new law. Because they didn't pass a law. DJI took the identification off of them because they're Chinese. And so they took the identification off of them, and you used to be only able to go up 400 feet. That was the law over the country. Supposedly now, the DJI took the identification off of them because they got pissed off or something. So now you can take them as high as you want. So now he could run them up those towers without an inspection, without a permit or nothing. Run them up there and check them out. Yeah, they're pretty cool. So anyways.
All right, Craig, that's the end of the comments and the questions, and that'll be a wrap for the podcast 274.
Oh gosh, what is it here?
Yeah, I believe it is.
I'll have to look at my clipboard that Haas sent me.
What's that?
This is the clipboard that Andreas Haas sent me from Germany.
Oh yeah, what's it say on it?
Well, it's got my notes on it. And it says that this was podcast 274, yeah.
All right, happy trails.
Yeah. Happy trail. Well, hold on a minute. I got to drop the screen here before I can see this thing. Before I can see this button to get out of here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Happy trails to you until we meet again. And see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. And we'll call that a wrap. And